Hey everyone, Fabian, Empire Build Academy, and I just wanted to do a quick video on the Huns Invasion event on Evony and what we can do to best win on this event. So welcome back to the channel. I've been wanting to do a Huns Invasion video for quite a while. I'll be honest, I'm no expert, and I've gone and done a little bit of research on various websites and also having a look at a few of the videos that are already out there. But like I say, this is a video I've definitely wanted to do. If you're new to my channel, this is the Empire Build Academy. I do all kinds of mobile strategy games, and if this is the kind of content you enjoy, then do consider subscribing to my channel. Not only that, I'm also working on my website, which is empirebuildacademy.com, and on there you can find all the different videos that I'm doing broken down into a blog format. And if we was to click on Evony, you can see that I've got all the different guides in relation to that. It's not completely up to date. I am working on it as we go along. I'm adding things regularly in the T-Bat blog, and that is again all broken down by the different games that I am doing, so please do go and check that out as well. But like I say, today's one is all about Huns Invasion, which is an event on Evony. Let's jump straight over to that now. On the game, I'm playing on PC, so you may see a different layout. So let's just go to the main page, and then to find the event, all we've got to do is just go onto the event center and then look down for the different ones. This will come under the competition, so it's this one here, and you can see it's right there for us to go into. So let's go and have a look straight away at the opening screen on this, and there's a few things to jump through. So the first thing I'll do is just jump into the information to give us a quick overview of the event. And it says the battlefield has 5 difficulty levels: easy, normal, hard, nightmare and hell. It requires a certain keep level and power to unlock the corresponding difficulty level. The higher the difficulty level is, the better the rewards are. During the battlefield opening time, you can enter the battlefield for 2 times daily, although you can purchase more chances with gems. During the battlefield opening time, you can enter the battlefield by creating a team and inviting alliance members or friends to join the team, or matching to other teammates automatically. When the member of the team reaches 6 and all members are prepared, the team will then enter the battlefield. So this is the screen. So the first thing we'll have a look at just quickly is the rewards. And if we go and have a look at the Monarch ranking rewards first and foremost, and you can see all the different rewards that we get. Now, this is actually a server specific reward. So this is actually across all servers. So it's not just down to your kingdom, and that's why these top 10 or even further down, these rewards are going to be quite difficult in relation to getting these because of the fact that you are doing this with other people. But what is most important is the stage clear rewards and what we can purchase in the battlefield shop with those particular rewards. So when we go into here, you can see that these are all broken down by different levels. I'll just circle a couple of them, and then when you go into that, you can see this is the easy level, and you can see that if you was to clear stage 1 all the way down to stage 10, then you would get these barbarian flags, which you are then able to spend in that battlefield shop. So that is where we make the rewards on this particular event, and there are lots of different levels. There's easy, normal, hard, nightmare and hell. And if we have a look at the hell one, and you can see that these barbarian flags that we get for that actually increase with the difficulty and level. So you would actually get 800 barbarian flags for completing stage 10. Let's have a look at the battlefield shop itself and see what we can purchase in there. And you can see there are a few rewards that we can purchase, and one of those being the top reward, which is this one here, and that is the civilization scroll fragment chest. So in here we can get different fragments that you can purchase for doing that. So you can see I've received these ones, and it will be showing me the ones that I haven't yet received. But this is just for the one fragment, so you would need 30 fragments to be able to get these. So you can see straight away that even doing one of these events completely and getting maximum rewards, it would still take a long time really to get the civilization scroll 30 fragments that you would actually need from this particular event. So you may find purchasing other things instead, like the Crimson Crystals or the Dragon Coins, may be more beneficial just because of how long it takes to get the civilization equipment. Okay, so let's come off that. Let's go back into this we talked about earlier. So you can see again the different power required to enter into each one of these as well. And you can, of course, it wouldn't be Evony if you couldn't buy a pack, and that's what the Ancestral Blessing is, which gives you purchasing rewards. So we've got 5k times 12, 60k gems that you can get there. You'd also get 100 barbarian flags, and you'd get these additional rewards each day that the event is actually taking part. So I think it's 3 days that the event takes part. So you would be able to receive those additional rewards daily if you purchased the $9.99 pack. Up here, you can see we can also add some battlefield buffs before entering in. So on this one here, you can purchase using gems all the way up to level 5, which is 312,000 gems. Personally, I wouldn't do that myself. But if you were actually aiming to try and get to the top in terms of scores, then maybe that's something you would consider doing. We also have the one next to that, which is the runes. And you can see that I already have this one up to level 8. That's the one that I've been increasing, which is the critical edge. So I genuinely, being honest, didn't know what I was doing. So with all these different ones here, I don't really know which one is better. What I would say is I would be preferring to go for the attack, which is the red, rather than the defense, which is blue. Now, let's just see if I can actually upgrade this. And you can see how many of the different crystals that I need to upgrade this to level 9. So at the moment, it would only be the level 8 version that I would be wearing. But that's entirely up to you, what you want to upgrade, how you want to do that. And the way you do that is via the Ancestral Chest, which gives random items when you click into this and open them. So if I actually go, you can see I've got 99 there. I can open 10 times. So let's just do that quickly now. And you can see the different ones that you get there that you can use. And you can see also as well the crystals, which I needed to upgrade that. I got 1,700 for opening them 10. So let's continue and open these all the way. I'm just going to skip through it, not going to look what's going on each one. I'll have a look at that in a minute. What is important is, like I say, getting those primordial crystals, which will allow me to upgrade my level 8 one to level 9. You can see I'm getting 2,000 of them each time, so that should be more than enough, I hope, to go to the next level. Let's do the last one there, and let's go back to the one that I've got. Click on upgrade, and this time you can see that the 74,000 that I needed, I now have, and these buffs here are all going to increase via here. In fact, actually, it was just the 2, wasn't it? You can see there, actually. That went to 23%, and this one went to 180. So not all of them upgrade, but of course, there's a little increase in the buffs there before you go in. So click on upgrade. That is now done. I now have a level 9 version of that. Now, I talked earlier about the rankings, and you can check that out, actually, by this method up here. And when we click into there, you can see all the different servers that are taking part. So mine would be from 11.86 onwards, and you can see that Jesse from server 1203 is currently at the top position with 200,673 on the Hell, and I would imagine they will all be Hell. Yes, they will. And I think it was the top 100, isn't it? So it's the top 100. So to get into this, you would need to be scoring more than 109,000 to break into the top 100 for those additional Monarch rewards. Okay, so before jumping in, I just want to jump into the rules and what we need to be aware of. There are 5 difficulty levels, which I've already said, requiring a certain keep and power level to join. During the event, you can enter the battlefield 2 times a day. As I mentioned, you are able to do more than that via the gems purchase, which you can buy once a day, 5,000 gems. You can join a team of 6 friends or allies, or even join a random team in auto match. However, in auto match, you need to be prepared within 10 seconds or you will be kicked, which we will see in a moment. You can also invite fewer than 5 friends and make up the remaining numbers with random players looking for a match. In terms of the stages itself, there are 10 stages with a team required to defeat the Hun camp in order to move on to the next stage. All stages feature one Hun camp, apart from stages 2, 6 and 10, where there are also Hun raiders that can be defeated for additional barbarian flags. Defeating the Hun camp alone will complete the stage, so if you were in there with those raiders and you could defeated the Hun camp and not the raiders, that would be enough to go through. Hun's raiders refresh every 1 minute after being defeated. Enemies consist of a layered mixed march of troops and are assisted by a powerful Evony general at stages 6 and 10. Enemies can only be attacked by using the rally function, so that's something to be aware of. You can't attack these singly. Rally times can be 1, 2, 3 or 5 minutes and can be speed attacked for free when players are ready. You have 5 minutes to complete each stage. All killed troops will automatically be healed at the end of the event. Troops cannot be healed during the invasion. You can purchase a special Huns Invasion military blessing for troop buffs during the event. However, any killed generals must be revived in the shrine building after the event. After every cleared stage, players select one of 3 buffs to help them in the future stages that are about to happen, and these buffs will all accumulate together as you progress. Now, there are a few ideas on how we can get highest scores, and one of them that I've noticed from a few things that are read is by sending a siege march. That would be only beneficial, though, if there are more powerful people alongside you. So if there's more powerful people in the rally that are setting the rally, and there are other marches going, so some people are sending range, some people are sending ground, you could then send your siege, because siege attack first, and that would then help you get the highest score. Now, I'll be honest, I don't have a very good siege march. I'll just be very honest with that one straight away. So that is something to be aware of if you are going after the top score. And like I say, in order to win this, the first 3 levels, the level 15, 20 and 25, easy, normal, hard, are normally straightforward to defeat, and you'd probably only need to be going into the event with a 5 billion, 10 billion player. But when it comes to the Nightmare and the Hell, then you probably would want to be trying to get the top stages. So what I mean by that, and let's have a look now, you can see that I've got the Hell one ticked, and then you can also see that we've got the match one as well. When I click into match, can't have no wounded troops in the hospital. So just be aware of those requirements to meet to be able to enter into this. But let me just go and heal my troops very quickly first. So for the purpose of this particular video, we will have a look at the Hell one and how that happens. So I'm going to click on match. This time I'm going to go straight into there, and you can see that it's trying to match me up. Now I'm looking at the different powers here, and you can see all the different powers that are entering, and I just don't feel there was enough in there to be able to do that. So what you do is you get 10 seconds before you're automatically kicked, or personally, I just jump out and try and enter one with a bigger keep. So let's do that again, and you'll sort of understand what I'm talking about. Click on match, wait for the matchmaking to take part, and then, like I say, what I'm looking for here, there's a 10.3 billion. Again, no one seems like they're ticking. It's only the 1.5 billion that has. So that would be me exiting out, coming off that, and then trying again. And it's literally doing that for a couple of times until you get someone big, but you only really need to do this on the last 2 levels, the Hell and the Nightmare. Okay, so I'm having 0 luck in trying to find anyone strong enough for the Hell version. Let's try a lesser difficulty so that we can actually get an example of what this looks like on the game. So this time I'm just going to jump into an easy one because they're so straightforward and literally you can defeat them yourself. So click onto this. We'll have no problem accepting everyone in relation to the battle. Okay, so you can see there was a 9.5 billion in this one. We also have the chat down in the bottom corner, which you can keep an eye on for what people are sending and who's setting the rallies. So do keep an eye on that. This is the Huns camp that we will be looking to defeat. And let's just wait for a rally to be set. These are the keeps that are involved in this one. So you can imagine it's Elise that's going to be setting this. And then literally you can just click on this and click join team rally. I'm going to join it with all siege just to see how this actually works. I actually don't have a full siege march, so I can't even really do that. So I'll just send that. Because I don't have a full siege march, I will actually send my best march, which is my ranged. So that's what I'll look to do. But it'll be interesting to see what score I get with those minimal siege that I did send. Someone is asking if they can take first place. Always send siege, and that was the point there. And again, I couldn't send siege because I just didn't have enough. So it's not going to be something that I'm placing high on in terms of where we finish, and you'll see that when it comes up with a score. You can see we've got 50 barbarian flags for that. And then we move on to the next one. And you can also choose some different buffs after each round. I always go for the team ones. I think that's fairer. You can also see there are some raiders which can be attacked in this one as well. Okay, so jump straight into this. I'm going to send my siege again. Not that I've got many of them. One thing that I didn't actually do that I should have done before this as well was obviously make sure all my buffs and march capacity was all done. So that was something that I should have thought about beforehand, so that was a mistake. Okay, so we move on to the next one, and this is again going with the team. I'm not actually sure why it's not showing. Oh, there you go. I was looking actually, because I'm on the PC, I couldn't actually see where all the different ranking was. So you can see there, I'm actually in second place. And I'm only sending minimal siege. So it just goes to show that sending the siege is definitely very, very useful. So again, I will do that on this one. This is actually set up for my healing. So that's the reason why I don't actually have one already set up. And currently in first place, I don't know if it'll show. Yes, it will. It'll show us Colonel Stew II is in first. What else is being said here? Let's have a look. Miracle, send siege if you want to get the first place. And again, I'm still in second with sending very minimal siege. So you can imagine if I was sending the full march of siege, I'd be doing a lot better. Again, we'll go with the siege one because that's what I'm sending. But you can see how easy the first levels are, and also you can see how difficult the later stages would be because they're all mixed troops in here, and you can see that via this method here of the different troops that are inside. Let's go back to that. Let's go on to this. This time let's go into there, select my siege march. I really do need to set one up that is already set up to send full siege. I also need to build some, which is also going to be useful. And Miracle, who is trying to get first place, is still in sixth. You can see Colonel Stew's on 9,000 points and completely clear and probably sending full marches of siege to this. You can see I've dropped down into third place, which was expected. Miracle has now gone into second place, so he's playing catch up, which is very good for him. Now, if you are noticing while I'm doing this event there's some things that need to be said, then please do mention them in the comments, because this is not an event I'm 100% on. I've done my research in terms of what you need to do and what you need to send, and obviously I can show you what the event looks like in terms of what it looks like from here. So you can see that we've got tier 6 and there's a lot of siege in this particular tier 6. But if there's anything that you think actually you've missed that and you should be adding that can help other people, then please do let me know. I want to try and get a full understanding of this, so that would be awesome if you can do that. What I'll also do is I will also include this as a blog post so that we can have all the information there. And what I will actually do is jump onto Reddit and get all the information I can and also put it on there as well. So again, you can see I've moved back into second place with my 10,200. This time you can see there are also raiders which you can attack additionally as well in this one. Besides the Huns camp. As I said before, if you do go straight for the Huns camp and win, then you don't need to defeat the additional raiders. The other thing that would be really interesting to know as well is how much the buffs are going to increase if I did that from the beginning. So what I'm actually going to do when I come off this, I'm actually going to do another one, but this time I'm going to put all the different buffs on there. I'll do the level that's up from this, which was normal, I'm not sure. And we'll do it with those additional buffs just to see what difference it actually makes to doing this. So we'll wait for this one to be sent. So as again, you can see sending minimal siege is still keeping me up there right at the top. So this is level 8. You can see you get 1 minute in between each before the next stage opens. At least we'll be sending the march. Let's have a look at what's in level 8. You can see we've got 900k of the siege machines and 108k of tier 7 of the others. Let's jump straight into this. Again, like I said, I'm not messing around, just sending exactly what I've got. This is more a case of being able to collect all the different barbarian flags. So there will be 2 more levels to go after this. And you can see all the different barbarian flags that we are winning for doing this. So again, I'm going to go for Siege Machine, but I'll go for the team rather than myself. I'm not too bothered about finishing in first place. And as you can see, that brings us to the end. Almighty actually took the first place right at the end there. I finished in fourth. Miracle, who was trying to chase first, finished in third. But the most important thing, as I said, is completing the stage and getting all these additional barbarian flags. So let's leave the battlefield. Now what I want to do very quickly, you notice that I didn't have the right siege march. So what I'm actually going to do, and this is some additional tips that you can use for yourself. I'm going to go into the rally spot, which is this one here. So let's go into that rally spot. And what I'm going to actually do is go into the march preset, which is this one here. I'm going to go and choose that number 6 one that I had before. This is my siege march. And as I said, it's not actually a siege march. It's actually layers of troops that I heal when in battlefield and server versus server, so that I can heal layers to receive additional solo attacks. But what I'm actually going to do in here, so you can see that I've got the 542,000. You can see I've got 10,000 of various layers going all the way down. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset that, and I'm going to use this button over here to make it all siege. So I can just go into here, click on power, and you can see that the Winter Palace Guards would go in there. Now that's not what I want. What I do want, of course, is the siege. So I'm literally just going to go all the way down and put just all my siege, nothing else. So that's the 13s. Then we go down to the 12s, go down to the 11s. And the reason I want to show you this is because, let's go down to 10. These are the 10s. You can see I've really got minimal siege. I've literally built none because of the kind of keep I am. So let's add the 9s. So I just wanted to show you that. So that's 227,000. So you can see straight away I don't have many siege. But the reason I wanted to show you that is because if I then wanted to switch this particular preset back to the layers that I was doing, I'd only need to click reset, click on the full tiers. Now you can see there that the full tier says 5k, but I actually want that to be at 10k. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over to this button here, and I'm going to long press on it this time, which then brings up this lovely little box here. And I can change that 5,000 in there to 10,000. And when I click on full tiers now, you can see that all my tiers are re-added. So it's just a really quick way to be able to chop and change if you don't have enough presets for the different things. So that was for that. Let's go back over to the competition, and then this time we can have a look at there in the rewards. You can see that I can collect all the different ones, and that is from this one here. This is from the easy. And again, when I claim all of these, I'd be able to spend these in that battlefield shop for different rewards. So that was all of them cleared, and you can imagine as well going into all the different ones, clearing all those stages, getting all those barbarian flags, going to the battlefield shop, and then choosing whatever it was you wanted in here. So currently I got 950 from that, and I could then go and use that for additional items in here. So that is pretty much it. Now the one thing that I didn't do, and I do want to mention again, is we believe that the additional buffs that you can add up here can actually make a difference to your attack. So march size capacity, yes, it does work. You could obviously add your march size capacity. Same with the all troops attack, defense, and HP. Even if it doesn't work, it's still a good point to be using your advanced 1 hour just in case it is. There's a little bit of a grey area, and maybe someone can actually answer whether that does actually count towards this anyway. But now what I'm going to try and do at the end of the video is summarize this as quick as possible. So Huns Invasion, we've got the military blessing that we can add as a buff by purchasing for gems. We have our rune word that we can add, which can be upgraded depending on how many you've got. The next thing is the ancestral blessing, and you can unlock all the different ones via opening the ancestral chest. When you open one of these, you can see you get lots of different types, but also alongside that, you also get the primordial crystals, which you use to upgrade each of the different rune words you got. So when I go back into this here, you can see that I've got this at level 9. I can then go into there, click upgrade, and when I upgrade that, you can see that I need 118,000 of those primordial crystals. So there's quite a lot I need to do before I'll be able to get that to level 10. But again, that is why it's crucial to make sure that you are opening all the different ones in your ancestral chest. In terms of the challenge itself, we have 5 challenges: easy, normal, hard, nightmare, hell. The idea is that you would be joining the hell and the nightmare with someone nice and strong, 30 billion in an ideal world. The way that we do that is by clicking on match. When you click on match, you can see all the different people that are taking part and their power. This one would be no good because there isn't anyone strong enough. So it's a case of coming back out, going back in, and trying to do that all over again with hopefully a little bit more luck in terms of who is entering. When you do go into the particular event itself, you click on match, anyone can join in this one here. You get 2 chances a day. You can also purchase an extra attempt with crystals. You can see everyone is joining in here. It's probably going to be our friend Tom Dawn, who I don't know, incidentally, that is going to be starting these. When you do go into here, you are then attacking Huns camps. You would normally be having the biggest person, strongest person being the one setting the different rallies. So level 41 Tom Dwan would be the one that would be setting these. So we've just got to wait for him to set that. Now, if this was really a struggle, you would be looking at trying to send mixed marches. So you'd want someone sending range, you'd want someone sending ground, someone sending mounted. You can have a look at what is going on by clicking on the main Huns camp to see what is in there. So you can see this has heavy ground and heavy siege. So that would need to be taken into consideration for your rally. On the easier levels, it really doesn't matter because you are just going to win quite comfortably. If you are looking to get points and you are looking to be one of the top scorers and your team is winning the battles easy, you can do that by sending full siege to this particular march. Actually, I'm just going to have a look on here with Tom and let's just see if we can see someone who's just sending all siege. So they're sending all cavs, although Tom obviously understands how to get first because he sent a lot of siege to this particular one. And once that is completed, you will then see I am currently in second place, but Tom is in first place because he would have had bigger siege march that he sends. Obviously, I've got the different march buffs. I'm only sending 500k and already I'm in second place. You can use these, obviously going for personal or team. It's really dependent on what you're trying to aim for. As I said, each of the Huns camps are all mixed marches, so that needs to be taken into consideration. This one is cav heavy. You've got the different Huns raiders that are also available to attack if you wanted. And it just goes to show that really there's not much in terms of the mechanics behind this. I mean, obviously I did choose the personal for the siege, which could make a big difference. But even then, I'm not sending a full march of my siege, but I'm still comfortably finishing in the top 2 because the others are sending cavs. So that's a really good example for you to see exactly how much the siege is working on each of the rounds. And I'm just going to do this last one here. Let's wait for it to join. This is going to be the last one. I'm not going to be doing it anymore. We've kind of got the idea as to how this works. Again, I'm sending minimal march, 542k. And of that, only 250k-ish are actually siege. But because everyone else is sending mixed marches, so some are sending cavs, some are sending ground, they are not competing. The reason that is because the siege attack first. So this is the last one. We'll see where we finish after this. And you can see I've jumped into first place. 8,200, minimal siege. Obviously, I was hitting the personals on the different things, but that is how you would do that. And then, like I say, to defeat the higher levels, you are going to be requiring bigger people in the marches to be able to defeat the top ones. And even then, when you are doing the top ones, you may find that actually sending siege to try and finish first is not going to be beneficial from your team because you are all trying to defeat the harder levels, and it may be a case of someone sending archers, someone sending ground, someone sending cav, and mixing all those marches up which means you may not be able to be chasing first place. And this is definitely the last one where I'm going to leave it. So do let me know in the comments what I've missed, because I know there will be things I've missed. I understand that, I accept that, and then I can include that when I write this up as a blog post. I can include that on the website empirebuildacademy.com. This is the last one. Let's see where I finish. I've gone down to second, but we are comfortably ahead of the others, and that is where I'm going to leave this particular video. Please do let me know in the comments what you think, what I've missed. Make me aware of that so that I can become even better. As I mentioned, I am no Huns expert, but what I am trying to do is trying to break this down so that we can all understand it a lot easier. That is the end of the video. I'll look forward to seeing you in another video very, very soon. Thanks for watching.